Welcome to Jeff Lobb Unleashed, a podcast talking all things sales, marketing, and social for the real estate, mortgage, and title industries. An international speaker and sales coach straight out of New Jersey and the home of Spark Tank Media. Here's your host and coach, Jeff Lobb.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It's another show, it's another week, it's another month. Hopefully things are going well in your markets. Hopefully you're doing the things that are making you money, and at least trying to focus on value, life, and some balance, right? Today's going to be, maybe a little confrontational. And I'm not a confrontation kind of guy, but I'm going to kind of call it like I see it. Topic of today, it was first going to be the word fear, because we're all afraid of stuff. And we all hear the word, we're like, oh, it's just fear of prospecting, fear of talking to people, fear of rejection, all that stuff. But then I really thought through this, and I started when we're working with clients, a couple other words came to me that made me really think about, is it fear or is it laziness? Yeah, I don't like to be called lazy. I said laziness. Are we just lazy or is it really fear? And, we think about the words or the things that we do, and I'll tell people all the time, all of the work that's hard to do, all the stuff that you say, do I really do that? Do I really schedule time for that? Do I really time block for that? Do I really do that? And you don't do it. That's the stuff that makes you the money. So is it really fear? So let's stop and think about that a second. All the things that make you money, which in the sales / real estate business, it's talking to people, it's setting up more appointments. And I'm not saying cold or all stuff. It could be warm. It could be lunches. It could be more spheres and center of influence. It could be more streams of people, as I call them. All of those things is work, right? But those are the most important things is how many more people, how many more opportunities do I create? How many more at-bats do I get? How many times do I get the ball in the sports arena to make and create opportunities? That's what makes us the money. And yet it's the least thing we do. It's the thing that we push off, we battle, we don't schedule, and it's the easiest thing to say no to and find something else to do. So why? I'll ask you why. And everyone's like, well, maybe it's fear. Okay, no, really? Is it fear? Fear is like you're afraid. Like, okay, what are you afraid of? Like, I want to talk to people? And if that's the case, we have to reevaluate sales. Maybe it's not for you. And I'm being serious about that. I'm not saying we don't have a great role for you. But fear, like, are you afraid of what to say? Are you afraid of how you're going to say it? Are you afraid of what they're going to tell you? Are you afraid of how you're going to feel when you're done? Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Right? When you think about it that way, what's the worst? I think there's a combination. I think if I asked you directly, one-on-one, you're going to tell me that the answer is probably both. It's a combination. If you're being honest with me, I think you're going to say it's a little bit of fear and a little bit of lazy. And my answer is going to be lazy, right? I mean, we just sometimes don't want to do it. We fight to it. Like here's a good example. It's all about like pleasure and pain. You think, do I want to walk into a dentist's office and be like, hey, I'm ready, just start working on me? No, it's painful. I don't like it. Right? But think about that model for a second. I'll take you outside the business for a second. Think about it. We buy things, we do things when something hurts us enough to go do it, right? So I've got to go to this dentist only when things hurt. Now I have to go, or I should. What does the dentist do to try and get me back in that chair another time? They've got to do everything possible to take away the pain, the fear of going, right? They got to take it away. They use gas, they use drugs, needles, all this stuff. Watch TV, they put a TV up for you, like distract you to anything to get you to feel somewhat comfortable so you'll come back. It's kind of like how prospecting is. Like, one way to get yourself past it sometimes is, yeah, you're going to deal with a lot of the word rejection and people saying no or hanging up. And sometimes people are just downright rude. Who cares, right? You have to have a thick enough skin to understand that none of that's really going to hurt you. But knowing that the more you do that, the more you're leading to the wins. And that's what I want you to talk about. I want you to realize today is, what are some of your small wins? We always focus on the negative stuff about the fear and I don't want to do it, or it's, I'm lazy. What are the wins? Small wins throughout the day. And sometimes when you talk about your little wins, meaning, hey, you know what? I got an appointment. I finally got an appointment. I finally did this. I finally got the buyer to commit and write an agreement. Focus on your wins sometimes. I'll tell you like a real good point when you might say it's fear, and I'm going to call it out as lazy. How many times have people driven by, a for sale by owner, signs in the ground, phone numbers right on the sign, and the homeowner saying, I want to sell my house. And we'll drive by it every day. And 90 or 95% of you won't stop, won't write it down, and won't call. But you'll drive by it every day and then go, yeah, the market's kind of slow. The market's kind of tough. You're driving by a person that's saying, I want to sell my house with their number, and you won't go talk to them. That's lazy. That's not fear. That's not fear. The fear is understanding a little bit about how to approach it. And there's more than enough information here, online, anywhere else you want to talk about how to approach that person, right? That for sale by owner. I did a session on it already. You should know what to go say. So it becomes the combination of fear and laziness, and we use that as the excuse. Like to me, someone puts their sign on the ground, they want to talk about real estate, I'm your guy. That's it. At least, I'm not saying I want to even sell the house yet, because I'm not even sure if I'm ready for that yet. I'm not sure if I even want to work with you. But I want to have a conversation, because my job is to have conversations. Your job is to have conversations with more people, right? So I think we get caught up in the word fear. I don't buy a lot of it. I think we can get past the fear. I think a lot of it comes down to us being, just quite frankly, a little bit on the lazy side, or the not willing to, or it's going to cause more work. And unfortunately, I'll tell you this, those who do this work, the things that most people won't do and do it more often are the ones you see winning all the awards, generating all the cash flow, and generating more listings and buyer opportunities. Because here's what they have that you have too. They have the same 8, 10, 12 hours a day that you do. Same. Time is fair. Time is the same thing equal for everybody right now. Okay? Now, we can't control the uncontrollables, but what you can control is where you spend it and who you spend it with. So if I compared your calendar to a top producer's calendar, or if you're a top producer to the next level producer's calendar, the only thing we're going to see different is what they're doing with their time. And we're going to see the things they're doing that are uncomfortable. And you might say, well, Jeff, well, they have systems and they have money to spend on leads and all these excuses are going to come up. That's not true. That's not how they started. Everyone started somewhere because it builds off of momentum and leverage and everything else. And it's the same thing you could do too if you managed your time better and got past this whole fear versus lazy thing. So I want you to be aware of it. The number one thing to get past this is to just be aware of it. Call yourself out because I can't be there with you. Acknowledge if it's fear and if it's lazy. If it's fear, there's solutions. If it's lazy, that's on you. And make yourself go do the things that are a little bit more uncomfortable. Right? If you need help, we can help you with that. That's what we're here for. If you want to message stuff down below, send me a DM, send our team a DM. We'll be happy to respond to it. But I want you to at least call you guys out a little bit to put some reality in your life. That's how it is. That's how I see it. And that's how you need to kind of work through it. So hopefully we'll catch you on the next show. Hopefully you get a few ideas and we helped you today. Catch you next time.